everybody? It's your boy, Jobbers and Goons. Thank you guys for tuning in. I haven't done a beef video in a while. I love talking about beef, especially timeless ones. So today I decided to pick one of the best beefs to me because you actually got to live through it as a player in the game. This is Dragonborn versus Alduin, the beef from Skyrim, the Elder Scrolls Saga. Now, if you guys are a fan of the channel or content, smash the like button. If you want to see the beef series continue and return, let's get this to 200 likes if you want to see it more often. Now, make sure to check out my community server as well. Over 650 members now. Games, prizes, giveaways, all that. If you want to purchase promo or a video, or several videos, I have a bunch of deals going on, so just go ahead and add me on Discord. But anyways, getting back to this, let's talk about one of the realest beefs, at least in modern gaming history. The last Dragonborn, Dovahkiin, standing up to Alduin, the Time Eater. Now, I'm going to get into a little bit of a backstory behind this beef and like what led up to it, and then we'll get into the beef itself and what the hell happened. Buckle in, grab your popcorn, because this shit gets real. So, the Elder Scrolls is a vast, massive, and powerful cosmological landscape which several games take place over, with many of them taking place inside of Creation Excel, for example, Tamriel. Now, within these lands, obviously vast areas of magic, beasts, creatures, warriors, different races, all these things. It's a wonderful place. Well, among these things, obviously, these powerful creatures and vast monsters walk some of the most worthy warriors to ever exist. These are the Dragonborn. Dragonborns, being mortals, naturally capable of the shout, which is the ability to basically yell at conceptually immortal beings like dragons and tell them to shut the fuck up. That's basically what it is. Makes them lose their immortality and you can battle them. It's one of the most OP types of beings to ever exist. Now, this all leads up to the Dragonborn, who we'll talk about. In this case, we are specifically referring to an iteration of the Dragonborn called the Last Dragonborn, who was the one to heavily beef with Alduin. Now, on the other side, we have Alduin, right? Now, Alduin is a dragon, but not just any dragon. Already, dragons are stupidly powerful. For example, just basic dragons, when they're battling, they're actually yelling at each other and shouting. And what they're doing is manipulating the truth. Like, for example, the truth could be, you are stronger than me. But if we shout about it and I manipulate and win correctly, I suddenly am stronger than you. That's the truth. It's like a conceptual truth hacks. It's insane. Well, all these dragons, they're all dope and whatnot, but they really don't scale to big bad Alduin. You see, Alduin is actually the son of Akatosh, one of the beings responsible for creation and a representative of like a higher conceptual time. His son Alduin, a particularly wicked dragon, lashed out to Akatosh, even consuming his father, and every now and then treating creation like a fucking snack. That's right. Alduin's a big dog. A lot of people don't realize how strong he is, but if you look at the lore, this dude literally just consumes creations when he wants to eat them. It's ridiculous. But getting back to this, whenever Alduin pops up, it's basically a sign of the apocalypse. Like, your world's done, it's fucked. There's going to have to be a rebirth of some kind after. It's all that, but Alduin's going to get buckets. And at one point, Alduin got BFR. So this was crazy because this group of heroes who like would casually be able to take on threats like Daedric Princes, they were not able to actually permanently kill Alduin, more so had to beat him and eventually force him into a BFR, which sent him into a time stream. Eventually, this would mean, of course, that Alduin would return, but these heroes were like, look, you know what? Fuck it. We'll deal with it when that time comes. Fuck it. I mean, who wants to beef with Alduin anyway? That motherfucker's a monster. But anyways, Alduin gets BFR'd, eventually to return to try to resume his role of consumption, right? So eventually, the last Dragonborn is awakened, right? And this is where we see in the game, and it's, by the way, what makes this beef so interesting, because you literally interact with it and see it in video game and get to play along. So, Dragonborn awakens. He realizes the land he's at is under siege from dragons, signaling the return of dragons and Alduin. Now, the Dragonborn, of course, eventually would come to start brawling with dragons, revealing he was indeed the chosen last Dragonborn, and starts boloing the dragons, even absorbing their spirits, getting massive amps, right? This is, of course, the spark of the Alduin versus the last Dragonborn beef, as the consumer of creation is back, and the last Dragonborn is the only person that can stop that big bitch, right? This begins the war. Over time, we see the last Dragonborn develop as a magic user, develop with the blade. Depending on how your player goes about it, you can learn several areas of combat. But in lore, they are basically an expert at all forms of combat, including rune magic, regular magic, curses, arrows and long-range weapons, regular weapons, melee, master thieves, high tier hacks and abilities, summoning abilities, the ability to go intangible to the point that you are basically equal to the void for a little bit, which is outside all the layers of the Dragonborn / Skyrim Elder Scrolls cosmology. By the way, if you guys want to see that cosmology video over on the coffee shop where I have a cosmology series, let me know in the comment section down below and I'll whip that up. But anyways, Dragonborn, at this point, you know, this is his like divine job to battle. He's learning all this shit, destroying dragons. This is eventually leading up to a battle between Alduin and the last Dragonborn. Now, the last Dragonborn, obviously up to this point, has been forging his legacy, demonstrating insane raw power, training with some of the most feared and noble beings to ever exist, training with some of the most powerful, like the Greybeards, all these things. And he is finally called upon to help an ancient dragon, and he also has help as well, fight Alduin, right? Big bad Alduin eventually pulls up. Now, due to the power of Dragonborn and the circumstances, in this first encounter, this first brawl between the two, Dragon Slayer is able to defeat Alduin. However, you guys know the vibes by now. Just because you kill Alduin doesn't mean he's dead, bitch. He might do the race. So, it turns out, and you find out, that Alduin is not really dead. Again, he's going to get away from facing any sort of punishment or fate for being a cosmic piece of shit. Well, Dragonborn at that point is like, you know what, bitch? I've been training this whole time. I've been realizing my true potential. I didn't do all that just to let this bitch get away. He wants to pull up here, threaten creation, threaten to consume everything. We're going to show him what the vibes are. So he says, fuck that noise, and he goes after Alduin. This means Dragonborn and his group of heroes have to travel to Sovngarde. Sovngarde, for comic fans and stuff, imagine like a Final Heaven in DC or a Final Heaven in Marvel, a high-level archetypal realm, right? Where spirits are long gone and dormant, especially warrior ones. You see the Dragonborn arrive at like a castle, goes in there and talking to the old ancient warriors who are huddled up inside the castle. They're like, yo, I don't know if you know this shit, my boy, but Big Alduin's here in Sovngarde, and he's pissed. Like, Brody literally flexed his power and covered Sovngarde in like his own mist/aura. It's ridiculous. Like, literally just one shot the land and it was like, alright, bitch, I own this realm now. Now, these spirits literally tell Dragonborn and all the heroes, they're like, yo, don't go outside, because that's the realm of Alduin, basically. And he's like a god up here. You just don't want to smoke with him. The hero's kind of shook. Not Dragonborn, though. Dragonborn's like, man, fuck that shit. I beat his ass before. I'm gonna beat his ass again. And literally walks outside. Walks down the aura and uses his ability of shout to blow away the aura / mist of what Alduin flexed, right? Eventually, showing off the fact that he don't give a shit about this power. This, again, draws the attention of Alduin, who's like, yo, not gonna lie, it's kind of crazy you followed me up here. Like, you really want to run the fade that bad. You literally followed me to the afterlife to try to kill me again. And Dragonborn's like, yeah, bitch, I'm gonna fuck you up. You did a lot of crazy shit back in the land. Like, you killed a lot of people. You made me have to run down on dragons. He was like, the fact that I have a chance to 1v1 you and really get you off the map, like, make sure that respawn shit is over with, I'm doing it. This, of course, signals the battle again between Alduin and Dragonborn. Now, this is a much more clear victory right here, because during this battle, of course, eventually Dragonborn is able to defeat Alduin again. And when he does so, Alduin, who's one of the most arrogant beings in the verse, like, again, he thinks he's a god, he admits, he's like, yo, Dragonborn, I'm not gonna lie, and like, your quest to beat my ass, you low-key did eventually surpass me in power. So even at that point, during the beef, Alduin admits Dragonborn overpowered him, just grinded too hard, and won the beef. So in the end, who do we think wins the beef? I think it's kind of obvious. Despite the massive amount of damage Alduin did in the beginning, of course, he's faded many creations before, as well as he has, you know, summoned dragons to the lands, set dragons to besiege the lands. He's responsible for a lot of bullshit. He caused a lot of chaos, including if you played the games, it was hard as shit sometimes to kill some of those dragons. But regardless, in the end, when it came down to the true matchup, the last Dragonborn was able to clutch the W and put Alduin on a fucking t-shirt. But anyways, guys, thank you so much for watching. This video made me really think about, like, video games really have some of the best beef storylines ever, or like beefs where we really got invested in emotionally. Let me know in the comment section down below what your favorite beef storylines from video games are. I'm curious to read what they are. But anyways, guys, thank you so much for watching. It's been your boy Jobbers and Goons. Check out my second channel, now called Coffee Shop Comics, so that it's way easier to pop up in the algorithm. And I'll see y'all later. Peace.